From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning here on Mornings LALATE with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today. In this recording, we'll go over that monthly stimulus check and why the Democrats are likely to give you more months of checks. Then we cut to the recon. Done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you. They're mostly application-based. And as a Purple Hawk, you're going to pounce and get all these big sums of money after you've been getting the sums of money under third stimulus as well. Then we cut to the voting process and why it's going to start sooner and easier than initially thought. It's the final 15 minutes of this video. Stay to the very end with the breaking news at Mornings today. Then we cut to fifth stimulus as well. That raises your benefits up. It starts in just a few days from now. It's exciting news. Then we cut to the big money across the board as viewers went from $32,000 to $50,000. And today you're going to meet one viewer who got $100,000 for rent, utilities, and food and internet. This is Mornings LALATE. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful morning. One more day left for the weekend. Crush it. It's Sunday. Hope you're having a beautiful day. How's the weather where you are? Jump in the live chat and tell me where you're tuning in from. I saw Sandy said she went to a new church. Hope it was great. Hope you're having a beautiful day across the board. The weather was better yesterday, but it got a little hot this morning. Don't do that to me, weather gods. In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today, we'll be going over those monthly stimulus checks and why the Democrats are likely to give you more months of checks. Then we cut to the recon. Done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you. They're mostly application-based. And if you have pounds as a Purple Hawk for third stimulus, you're going to ready to get this big money. And if you've been getting $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 with me over the last few weeks, you're going to get a fortune more under fourth stimulus. Then we cut to the breaking news in the final 15 minutes of this video. Stay to the very end. As fourth stimulus heats up with a quicker, easier path to the finish line. Then we turn to fifth stimulus, which starts in just a few days. Raising your benefits up if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and more. And finally, in this video, we will be meeting Mark, who got over $50,000 from the channel. And then if you thought that was the ceiling, it's not. You'll meet also Lorraine, who got over $100,000 from this channel. And I'll show you how to be the next Lorraine. And this is LALATE, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America. Live in the morning like right now, taped in the afternoons this afternoon. Coming up next is Mornings Crypto live on air as Doge is trying to get to that 31 cent and stay there. I'll have all the breaking news live on air at 9:45 a.m. as Mornings Crypto starts. Then noontime at 11 a.m. Then we go into afternoons at 1, 3, and then evenings at 5. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Thank you for all the incredible subscriber growth over the last week. Come on over and subscribe and become part of this incredible Purple Hawk family. Like the video, 3,000 likes. Never forget to like a video because it really helps in the algorithm rankings. And consider becoming a member so that you pounce and get the fortunes under all these stimulus packages with me. And with that, let's cut to the breaking news. Senate versus House, House versus Senate, both monthly stimulus checks, different number of checks and different amount of checks. Let's go over the details starting right now. They both provide stimulus checks on a monthly basis, but they're different. House, pandemic plus 1 year bill. Senate, July to December proposal. House, $1,000 after the first month. Senate, unknown, but word on the streets, the Senate would pay you this. Deliciousness, $2,000 over 6 months, $12,000, or $1,400 over 6 months, $8,400. If you heard the breaking news, or if you didn't, I'm telling it to you right now. Starting tomorrow, New York City will become the first city in the United States to require vaccination cards for indoor dining and other indoor activities. San Francisco is the second. LA County, I expect, will be coming in near second, in third or fourth, very soon, right after. With that, that means that the pandemic's far from over. House bill would likely pay me more than 12 checks, more than 1 year, which would be more than $13,000. Compare that to this and the Senate. I think I have an opinion. I think you have an opinion. Jump in the live chat this Sunday and tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. Vote House or Senate right now. I want to see you vote in. Who gets his forced stimulus check? You do. Democrats represent they're giving you a forced stimulus check. Single individuals, $75,000 or less. Democrats represent they're giving you a forced stimulus check, $75,000 or less. Married couple, $150,000 or less. Democrats represent they're giving you a forced stimulus check, double it. Family of four, Democrats represent they're giving you a forced stimulus check, quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security Railroad benefits, Democrats represent they're giving you a forced stimulus check. It's not income, it's not taxable. And the forced stimulus check would be the same amount for adult dependents and everyone else. And the forced stimulus check is not a waivable check. So if you do go to the beach this weekend and you're looking at the check and you say, hey, is that the check in the waves? Don't wave at the check even if the check is in the waves because it's a soggy check because it doesn't have hands. But rather a soggy check than a bounce check. In the second half of this video, we'll be cutting to the recon. Done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you, and I'm going to show you why application-based checks are what Purple Hawks do best at. And it's all great, big and exciting in the second half of this video. In the third part, the breaking news, stay to the very end, the final 15 minutes, they're going to heat up with the path quicker and the path easier than initially thought to get over the finish line with that tow truck and that tow hitch. But first, we turn to fifth stimulus, which raises your benefits up lifetime. And now let's get some money. Let's get some rent, utilities, food, or internet. Get that pen and paper ready. When I started recording about rent and utilities a few weeks ago, I said, hey, I can get you 4 to 6 months of rent, about $5,000. I was just a little bit undervaluing that. Viewers got more than $5,000. How much did viewers get as Purple Hawks, as members, as viewers of this channel? How much do they get from rent? Are you ready? Bam. $27,000. Wow. Elizabeth, Purple Hawk, got $27,000 to pay for her rent. Mark, $25,000. In fact, Mark told his neighbor, hey, go watch that LALATE. He's the real deal. Go get that rent. And the neighbor of Mark, went from $0 to $20,000 paid out in just a few days. Nancy, $24,000 for rent. Richard, $22,000. Nisi, $20,000. If you're a viewer, send me a private message on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, telling me your success stories, and here's some coming in as well. Gonzalez from California reports to me he got incredible $8,000 for rent. Congratulations, Gonzalez. Pamela tells me she got $12,000 for rent. Carla tells me she got utilities and some SNAP. Tiffany tells me she got $13,000 of rent. Wow, Tiffany. And money for SNAP and utilities. Randy tells me he got $6,000 for rent and utilities. Jennifer reports to me she got $5,000 for rent and lights and SNAP. And Cecilia tells me she got $1,200 for HEAP. That's a heap of heap. And with that, let's turn to some utilities. How much are viewers getting for utilities? Are they getting a heap of utilities? They are. Wow. $7,000 for Nancy as her name appears again. Nancy's going for that triple crown. Her second item, she got $7,000 for utilities. Mark, his name appears again. Heading for that triple crown, getting $6,500 for utilities. And Angela, $5,000. Well, let's look at that third item. Are they all going to appear in that third item? SNAP. SNAP is money for food. How much does it pay? It's not paying a few $100s. Annualized, are you ready for this deliciousness? John, $18,000 for SNAP. Deliciousness. John, Louis, $18,000. John, $10,000 to $12,000. And there's Nancy. She got the triple crown. She got SNAP as well. So let's see which viewers got three items, the triple crown of this channel. They got rent, utilities, and SNAP. Are you ready? Let's see it. Drum roll. Bam. Wow. Nancy getting $32,000 for rent, utilities, and SNAP. Nisi, $23,000 for rent, utilities, and SNAP. And Mark, $32,000 for two items. Two items? Mark, this is the triple crown. Triple, meaning three, not two. How did you get in there, Mark? The reason why Mark got in there was because initially it was an enormous sum of money, $32,000. I thought, wow. But then I said on air to Mark, I said for 7 days, I said, Mark, where's the SNAP? You didn't get SNAP. What are you doing? SNAP is a SNAP. That's why they call it SNAP. It's a SNAP. It's easy to go get it. Go get it. So for 7 days on air, I said to Mark, go get Snap. I said, get $8,000. That brings you to 40,000. I love 40,000. It has a lot of zeros. Don't you love a check that has a lot of zeros in it? So Mark went and got Snap. How much do you think Mark got for Snap? 5,000, 4,000, 8,000? Higher. He got a lot more. Mark got Snap, and he got a lot more than $8,000. He got a lot more than bringing his grand total to 40,000. How much do you think Mark got? Here you go. Mark got $19,000 for Snap, bringing his grand total to $50,500. Incredible. Congratulations. And this is LA. We've been doing this since day one. In spring of last year, I launched this channel to help people get their EIDL grant and EIDL loans approved. They had applied for the EIDL grant and loan, but their applications were stalled, not getting approved. 330 Vortex, 331 Vortex, 488 Vortex viewers. If you're an OG, jump on live chat and say, I remember that, because guess what? We needed information. How do we get the money to our hands? It's application-based. And I stepped in and I got those applications approved. $25 million of EIDL loans applications approved because of me and you working off camera in the middle of the night on social media, on private messaging, and on camera with lots and lots of videos. Then in fall of 2020, second stimulus checks were not coming, but there were applications for you to apply for to get rent, and I got viewers $250,000 of rent. Tyrone, his family of four, were in Boston in December, and that was a tough place to get rent at the time. He learned from my videos how to apply for the rent, and he applied and got $15,000 for rent, paying all his rent from December to March. And now we're doing the same thing again. The difference is you. Third stimulus is mostly application-based money, and now viewers are realizing, wow, I'm going to get that money. So get the pen and paper ready today, because I'm going to get you this big money as well. And I'm going to show you how to get this big money. We're going to get some rent, utilities, homeowners assistance, and mortgage assistance. I'm going to show you the skill set so you can get it, because guess what? Fourth stimulus was going to be application-based as well. And so if you kill it on third, you're going to kill it on fourth. Are you ready? First, here's a couple of things that are introductory. Number one, I'm going to show you different places to get that money from. Each place is different with different eligibility. So apply. If one says no, you don't stop and say, I got a no. You go to the next one. Each one has different eligibility. Number two, each has their own pot of money. So keep on applying. Number three, there's not a single state in the entire country that doesn't pay any money. So don't bring that fake narrative here. It ain't going to work. Every state has paid paid viewers of this channel across the board. Finally, don't create your own eligibility, because you're not paying the check. They're paying the check. I'm too old, wrong. I'm too young, wrong. I don't have kids, wrong. I'm in Mississippi, wrong. I'm in Georgia, wrong. I wear red shirts in front of pink orchids, wrong. Don't create your own eligibility. It ain't going to work unless you just simply want to sit back and watch Seinfeld and eat that donut. And there we go. You ready? Here we go. We're going to reach out to 6 places. And here they are. City Hall, City House Authority. County Hall, County House Authority. State Hall, State House Authority. The key words you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. And that's it. And you don't say words they don't know, like stimulus, or Mitch's wonderful time on Love Temptation Island. Was the temptation? Stay away from it. I don't know. And there you go. Congratulations to Tim and Linda, who got this wonderful pot of money. The next pot of the money is Snap. But if you got rent and utilities, post the live chat right now. Let's turn to some Snap. Snap is money for food. How do you get it? Department of Agriculture. It's a Snap. That's why it's called Snap. It's easy to get. And Lynn Glenn got it for herself, her son, and her mom. Mark got it in just a few days, $19,000. John got $10,000 to $12,000. That's all annualized. And Louis got $18,000. How much does it pay? A family of 4 out of Hawaii gets upwards of $16,000 a year. Wow, why so much money? Because of 2 wonderful executive orders. One from Biden, one from Trump that raise your benefits up 15%. So go get it. We're killing it. If you got Snap as well, post in live chat. We're killing it. We're only 13 minutes of video, and we've gotten $27,000 for rent, $19,000 for Snap, $9,000 for utilities, and we're just getting started. The next pot of the money is the refund check from your state due to overpayment of unemployment benefits and a computer error. That money is now ordered as yours from the federal government. One viewer got $3,000 for this, and one viewer got $5,000. Where is it landing? Direct deposit. Can you track it? Yeah, contact your state and say, "Hi, state, I want to track that computer error money that's mine. Can you track it on your computer for you?" "I will." "Can you turn on the computer?" "Oh, I forgot to turn it on." Why does it sound like Sirloin's answering the phone? And then the last pot of the money is the refund check coming back from the federal government of that 2020 taxes you paid unemployment on. Margaret got it, Cog got it, Michael got it. And it's a waivable check. I know, Mitch, that makes your ears squirm when you hear those wonderful words. It's a waivable check. There's a new check every week from IRS. Average payout is about $1,200 to $1,400. Mark got $1,400 about this. But first, here's a personal message from me. If you're on the live chat and you've not posted success stories for rent, utilities, food, or internet, please do. Because when you do it, you help people. I'm here to help people, and you help people as well. The first way you help people is that people have now done an incredible job on this channel of refocusing back in the last few days. This channel launched in April of last year because people had applied applied for the EIDL loan and EIDL grant, and their applications were stalled up, locked in vortexes. They needed to know how to get the applications they applied for approved. They needed information. This channel launched to provide them information how to get their applications approved. Then in fall 2020, second stimulus was not coming out, so I had to give them information about how to get applications approved. Now I see the incredible success stories of the viewers of this channel realizing that a third stimulus check of $1,400 was great, but that ain't going to pay anyone's bill after a week. You need a lot more money than that. And you've learned how to apply to get this big money under third stimulus. And why is this huge? Because you're going to do it again under fourth stimulus, just with more bigger pots of money. Number one, you inspire people to go out and pick up the phone and call and apply, not sit there with the donut and wonder when is it automatically coming into your bank account. No one is automatically sent $27,000 from the federal government. They have to pick up the phone and call. And it's not so difficult. As Mark told his neighbor, go get it, and within days his neighbor got $20,000. You inspire people to pick up the phone and call. I love Tina yesterday in the live chat. She got inspired. She said, I'm picking up the phone. I'm calling. I love Sandy yesterday. She understood, hey, I called one place. They said no. I said, you keep on calling, Sandy. That's one is not going to cut it. So she said, I'm going to call the others. I love that. Then there's people who never knew that utilities are paid for by the federal government. Then there's people who never heard of SNAP. A lot of people have never heard of SNAP until they found this channel. Imagine the federal government paying for your food. Larry Maui didn't know it, and now he's getting $500 a month for single individual out of Maui. Then people got inspired to get 3 items. Art Sullivan got 3 items, and he inspired with Nancy get 3 items. Mark got 2. He got inspired to get 3. Finally, we see how big the monies are coming in. This is not $100 anymore, folks. This is big sums of money. All right, let's cut back to those unemployment benefits. Where they landing? Direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. Can you track it? Yeah. Go to irs.gov and do a transcript search, and 70% of the time it'll work. It'll reveal the taxes you paid and the tax return you filed. And then it'll reveal stuff you wish you had never seen. Your eyes are hurting looking at. Like when Mitch was on Star Search, did he just do the Britney songs, or did he also do the J-Lo songs? And then it also reveals the refund check you came back from IRS. Can we top that? Yes. As we go into the second part of your fourth stimulus check update of 2021, starting right now. Deal done. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to the American people under the fourth stimulus recon. These are checks for you. These are generally application-based checks, and they're checks for all my viewers across the board. Seniors to workers to adults to single people, all different types of checks. First stimulus was this big. Second stimulus was this big. Third stimulus is this big. Fourth stimulus is this big. There's a lot of room to put stimulus checks in there, and the rest of the stuff is application-based. The prior stimulus packages, 90% money for U.S. corporations. This stimulus package, nearly zero money for U.S. corporations, all for you. And that's why it's so exciting for you. If you've been succeeding at getting money under second or third stimulus, you're going to get a lot of money under fourth stimulus, application based. How do we get to this wonderful spot? From really taking the roads and bridges out of the recon. The recon originally had roads and bridges out of it. In there, they took it out and put it into something called the bipartisan, making both now passable. The higher the price tag was on the recon before, the harder it was to pass. Confirmation coming from conservative publication op-ed. By allowing the Democrats to take out some of the spending from the recon, roads and bridges, and put in the bipartisan, the overall price tag of the recon got smaller, obviously. In other words, the bipartisan deal made the recon passable, and vice versa, because now they've both passed the U.S. Senate. Now, here's something you're only going to hear on this channel, that the Democrats met with the White House before starting the process from both the House and the Senate. So the price tag of $3.5 trillion was agreed upon by House members as well. So when this lands in the House the next day or two, it's going to pass in 10 seconds. They already agreed upon this price tag a long time ago. And that's why they're so excited. Representative Richie Torres had said, we need a larger recon. You got it, 3.5 trillion passed. And Representative Ilhan Omar had said, we need a recon that goes as large as we want it. You got it, passed, 3.5 trillion. How did the White House do this? By telling the Democratic progressives protect the recon because they're just checks for the American people in there. And that's what Schatz and Jalapal says. Quote, the White House considers the progressive priorities in the recon their priorities. So what's a recon? What's a bipartisan? What's a recon procedural? And what's a recon substantive? Let's go over all the details starting right now. It's important for you to know this because the President of the United States has made very clear he must have on his desk in the White House both bodies of legislation to sign into law at the same time. Recon and bipartisan, not just recon and not just bipartisan. So we have two bodies of law we got to deal with. And what are they? Recon and also bipartisan. Number one, recon, your money, also called reconciliation, also called the budget bill, also called the progressive spending plan, also called the social welfare spending plan. See the word spending? That's used a lot because there's a lot of, it's just all spending. Price tag 3.5 trillion. Bipartisan, not your money. This is the roads and bridges. This is the infrastructure, 1.5 trillion. We have three bills we have to do. Recon procedural, which passed this week, recon substantive, which comes up next, and bipartisan. Let's go over the difference between recon procedural and recon substantive. It's very easy, and you're not going to see these explanations anywhere else but on this channel. Recon procedural asks two very basic questions: the total price tag and how it's split up. Recon procedural, step one. Do you agree to do a recon at a later date of a price tag of $3.5 trillion total price tag? Yes, I do. And you agree that committee number one gets $10, committee number two gets $20 in U.S. government to determine how to spend this money later on? I do. That's all it's doing. Each committee gets a certain amount of money and a total price tag of $3.5 trillion. Okay, then what is recon substantive? It happens right after recon procedural. Once those committees are given $10, $20, $30, then the next question is, how does that committee spend that $10 or $20? They decide how they spend it, who gets the money, when they get it, and how they get it. And that's what becomes the recon procedure. That's what becomes the recon bill that everyone wonders what it looks like. Who writes that recon bill? The House Democrats in the subcommittees. Under the Constitution, different subcommittees are delegated different subject matters. For example, House Ways and Means is responsible for writing about stimulus checks and unemployment benefits. When those different subcommittees are done writing, let's say it's 10 pages and 10 subcommittees, they combine it, send it up to Shock, and that's 100 pages that gets a big S on it for salty, sugary, Schumerish, no, Senate. But ironically, you make it an H on it for House or her, Nancy, because it may actually start on the House side. Whoa, more about that in a second. How do we get to this wonderful spot? Vijayalapal, who recently wrote Schumer a letter saying, Chuck, call the vote. And he did call the vote, and the recon passed procedural this week in the U.S. Senate. That letter was signed by 12 House Democrats, part of 100 plus, who recently wrote the president a letter saying, we're going to be putting monthly forced stimulus checks in the forced stimulus package. Wow, Purple Power, you need to push and keep them to their promise. Can we top that? Yes. As 7 members of the House Ways and Means Subcommittee, the one we just went over, the rights of checks, yep, them, recently wrote the president a letter saying, we're going to be putting monthly forced stimulus checks in the forced stimulus package. Wow. You got to push and keep them to their promise. Can we top that? We can. As 7 weeks ago, yesterday, the president went overseas to have a ceremonial signature. The real signature was a few days late this week. And what was that signature? Something that makes it now law, another thing, so that it doesn't have to go in the recon, making it easier to do the recon. This other thing is the global minimum corporate tax rate. And now it doesn't have to be in the recon, making it one, easier to write the recon, easier to call the vote on the recon, vote on the recon, and pass the recon, because this thing is not in there. And can we top that? We can. As we go into the final 15 minutes of this video, stay to the very end. It's heating up right after this commercial break. As we go over why the voting process and the voting path is easier and breezier than initially thought and sooner with the tow truck passing over the finish line. We'll go over the big sums of money that is available for you under this $3.5 trillion. If you pounce and got money under second stimulus or third stimulus from this channel, you have the skill set to do it again under fourth stimulus, even bigger. Then we cut to the big money of fifth stimulus as well. But if you need help with rent, utilities, food, or internet, make sure you try to get it first. I want you to try to get it first so you have that skill set, so you know that how to do it. Because when your fourth stimulus heats up, you're going to do it even bigger and bolder. But if you've had problems getting one or two of the items, reach out to the volunteers. Where are they? They're on the community page. They're located on the community page. Go down the description, find the link, and go to it where it says community page. That's news.lalate.com/community. On the community page, they'll help you get that money for rent, utilities, food, and internet. Here's a little bit about them. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds as this big Mornings LA continues with the breaking news in the final 15. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. The toast is toast and the butter is butter, and I'm here, you're here, and Mornings LALATE heats up with a full cup of coffee starting right now. Hope you're having a beautiful Sunday morning. Thank you for joining me across the board. Hope the weather is good where you are. If you just joined me, you're in time because the final 15 is coming up right now. We're going to be going over the $3.5 trillion of checks coming to you and the American people and why it's going to be easy breezier to get it over the finish line than initially thought and earlier. Then we turn to fifth stimulus as well. But first, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers a YouTube record. I want you part of this channel. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you for all the incredible subscriber growth over the last few days. Keep on doing it. Tell people to come on over. Share these videos on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Seeds for Stimulus. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member so you get access to all the incredible information that comes to members. Meantime, the President of the United States, when running for the highest office in the land, said he was going to raise your benefits up for SSI and SSDI and VA. And now the Democrats are doing it for you, and that is what is called fifth stimulus. It starts within just days. It starts drafting in September. They represent they're going to do it by November. They represent that those benefit limits would kick in around November. And then the benchmark will be applied for December for next year. How does this work? Step one. They'll raise your benefit limits up. Step two, remove the asset limit. Then add an inflationary benchmark, remove the income exclusion, and remove the marriage penalty. Let's go over how this works and calculates starting right now. First, they'll raise your benefits up. Who's you? You, if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, SSA, or multiple beneficiaries. Then they'll apply a new benchmark. The new benchmark is inflation. I know some of you have seen the reports about benefits going up 6% next year. That's COLA, which is horrible. And that number is not anything to celebrate about because COLA has been treating people horribly for decades. So they're getting rid of COLA to replace it with inflation. Where's inflation going? It's transitory. What does transitory mean? A temporary spike in December? Oh, yes, right when they apply our benchmark. How high is it going to go? I'm reporting it may be about 5%. Let's do the analysis. First, they'll raise your benefits up. Then they'll apply a benchmark. And if it's 5%, your benefits will step up another 5%, not just next year, but lifetime. Then if your inflation rate is 2% the year after that, you'll be at +2, +5%. It's wonderful news. Then they're going to remove the asset cap, dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't stay on benefits and have more than $3,000 in hand. Now you'll be able to have some Cardinals red Crayola crowns in your hand. Sorry, Canute. They're going to remove the income cap, dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away. You'll be able to do a pair dance at your wedding like Rob and Sandy and no longer fear loss of benefits. If your benefits were canceled, they'll be restored. Meantime, there will be a fifth stimulus check. Those Democrats represent in the House Ways and Means Committee. And finally, if you're in the live chat and you do not have a purple hawk and you notice people with a purple hawk emoji next to your name, what are you doing? You need to become a member right today. Members are delivered to them by me, handwritten daily. A breakdown from the YouTube community page, that's the platform that sends it to you, a breakdown of all the big money under second stimulus, third stimulus, and proposed under fourth and fifth stimulus for you to get. And here has been the difference. When second stimulus went out, and it was a $600 stimulus check, people were waiting for it. It wasn't coming. I said, you can't be focused on the $600 stimulus check. It ain't coming. And I told people, under second stimulus, I can get you $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. Well, that's what happened with Tyrone. He got $16,000 for rent. He applied. He understood at a time in December where it was hard to get rent in Boston. He got it, and he applied, and he got $16,000. In January of this year, I launched Purple Hawks to describe people who pounce and get the big sums of money in these application-based items in the third stimulus package. When third stimulus package passed, it was a $14 stimulus check, and people elsewhere would have wanted you to just say, what day, when, and I said, no. I want you to focus on the other sums of money that are in there. I can get you $14,000 or more. And at the time I said, money right now, not 5 days from now, not 5 weeks from now, $5, $10, $20,000. Those were my expressions at the time. Well, that's how Purple Hawks have pounced. Purple Hawks have realized that the biggest money in these stimulus packages is not sitting in the lounge chair and looking at Seinfeld and eating a delicious glazed donut. It's picking up the phone and calling. And calling is not so difficult. Mark's neighbor got it within just days. Mark had never gotten Snap until I made 3 videos, and he picked up the phone and got $19,000 for Snap. Viewers are getting $27,000, $7,000 for utilities, $18,000 for Snap, $32,000 because they're pouncing as Purple Hawks. They're realizing these are the big sums of money under third stimulus. And that is why you need to do this. Moreover, you learn the skill set because fourth stimulus will have this even bigger across the board. And with that, let's go into the final 15 minutes of this video, starting right now. Deal done. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you under the American people under the fourth stimulus recon. The fourth stimulus recon is enormous. While the first was this big, second was this big, third was this big, fourth is this big. Far more than enough room to put stimulus checks in there. But everything else is application-based. And this is where people who sit in the chair, watch Seinfeld, and eat a donut are not going to get anything because it's application-based. They don't want to pick up the phone call. And people who are Purple Hawks are going to get big sums of money, bigger than you got with third. If you've done this before with third or second before on this channel and you've learned the skills, even getting one item, you're going to do really well with fourth stimulus. Now, we don't have the provisions of what is in fourth stimulus, but here is some of them that are proposed. Checks for all walks of life. And I love the comments I'm getting from some viewers saying, how do I get that dental? I love that because that's so Purple Hawkish. You're ready to pounce and get it before it's even law. And some people come back and say, it's not law yet. Don't pounce yet. But I love the anticipation. It's great. Love people wanting to pounce and get application-based money. Free school meals for all checks, tax break checks, cheaper prescription medication checks, greener farming checks, then free internet checks, then lots of checks for workers and checks for seniors, checks for workers, checks for independent contractors, checks for collective bargaining, and then checks for seniors, hearing care checks, vision checks, dental checks, and lowering the eligibility age checks. All right, let's cut over now to the dates and the passage. Okay, here's what you need to know, is that I went back and I looked at those reports about some Democrats having an issue with the situation. Those Democrats, now that I see the article was poorly written, those Democrats were really focused on doing roads and bridges before bipartisan. They weren't trying to, roads and bridges before recon. They weren't trying to block the recon. So I may have misquoted the article. They're just trying to do roads and bridges first, which doesn't make any sense. You know why? Because the president said, I have to have both on my desk. So doing one before the other makes no sense because they both have to be there. So what is the voting process? Everything you need to know starts right now. The recon procedural and the recon substantive will go quicker and easier than initially thought. Number one, it's going to go easier because the House members have already agreed upon the price tag of $3.5 trillion. So the recon procedural will pass in a blink of an eye. And the recon substantive is starting even earlier than initially thought. Recon procedural starts with a final vote on August 23rd, earlier than initially representative. That's a firm date from Steny Hoyer in the House. 9/15, September 15th, recon substantive goes for a vote in the House propose. It's a firm date from Leader Schumer, but the House is now a proposal. Why House? I love this. Why? Number one, the subcommittees of the House are writing the legislation. Number two, the House members always give more money. Number three, the House is more progressives than the senators that tend to be more moderates. Number four, I like it starting in the House because they can give you more money and then they can go to the vote-a-rama on the Senate side and have more money on top of that. So I love starting the House. That's, of course, is proposed. And then 9:30 is the proposed recon final date across the board. All right, next let's go to the recon substantive. Okay, so recon substantive is how the committees spend the money. This is why I brought back seats for stimulus. You've been doing a great job on social media. It's the hashtag altogether, seats, the number 4, then stimulus. And guess why it's working? Because 6 House seats are up for grabs, and those House members are literally in their districts campaigning right today. 6 House seats, that's critical. 6 House seats could make the House go Republican or make the House go very Democratic. So they're trying tooth and nails to win those 6 House seats. And you need to make the message very loud and clear on social media. Share this video, tag those elected officials with the hashtag seats for stimulus. Give us the right stimulus, or we're going to take your seats. Next year, 34 of 100 Senate seats are up for grabs as well. Really fascinating across the board. So then let's go back to the recon itself, and then let's go over what's happening tomorrow and then a personal message. Okay, so the recon is mostly going to be application-based. In addition to those stimulus checks, everything else in there is application-based. That's why the Republicans call it a spending plan. They're spending money on the American people. $3.5 trillion of checks, and I'm really amped up and excited for you. I'm excited because I see the live chat right now in this video. I'm excited because I've seen the live chat in the videos in the last 2 days. You are laser focused. Here's what's going on, is that with application-based items, you have to pick up the phone and call. You have to go to a website and apply. And that's how you get big fortunes of money. This channel launched in April of last year when people applied for the EIDL grant and the EIDL loan. But for some bizarre reason for SBA, their applications were stuck in vortexes. 330, 331, 48, if you remember it, post and say I'm an OG in the live chat. I launched this channel because people were knocking applications approved. Then on April 25th, when this channel went live, I announced the PUA program was going to go live in the United States on April 28th. In some states, it wasn't. So I help people go through the application to get that application approved. You have to, if you have to be denied on the W-2 side before you go to the 1099 side, I help people go through the application to get approved. And then for second stimulus, I went through how people get $250,000, like Tyrone in December. It was a hard month to get rent in Boston. But along the way came a certain group of people who thought that everything is just lands in my bank account. I don't have to lift a finger. And that was never this channel. This channel was never, it's just automatic. You just put your feet up on the lounge chair and the money automatically comes. I love the refocusing of people in the last week because now they realize, wait a second. The money on the third stimulus, this rent and utilities and food and internet and SNAP, it's not $100 here and $100 there annualized. It's tens of thousands of dollars. It's a lot more money than we ever thought. And that was a stimulus package this big. And if you just get $100 more a month for SNAP, you've won. because now you know how to do this. You picked up the phone, you called, and you got the money. I love Tina yesterday in one of the live chats. She said, you know what? I'm going to call on Monday. I love Sandy on Saturday in one of the live chats. She said, I applied to one place. I got denied. I said, Sandy, you apply to more than one place. You don't stop on one. You keep on applying. I love that. And that is the spirit of pouncing, because guess what happens? When forced stimulus becomes law and there's going to be $3.5 trillion of checks in there that are application-based, you're going to know how to do this. I'm going to be here to go through all those checks with you. I'm going to get it as a family. But you have already done this on the second stimulus. And then all those people with those donuts in their hands saying, how do I update my direct deposit account so I can automatically get money so I can just watch some more Seinfeld reruns? They're not going to know what to do because they have not done the application process before. I also love how people have now really tried to help people. We had an early mornings LA yesterday when one viewer said, I'm from Mississippi, there's no money there. And there were 3 people in the live chat from Mississippi said, I got money, I got money, I got money. I'll show you how to get the money. I love that. That was a spirit of helping people. Finally, along the way, you're going to have this improvement of the refocusing where people are no longer saying, I don't qualify because I'm a guy in a red shirt in front of pink orchids. I don't qualify because I'm a guy with brown hair in front of a surfboard. I don't qualify. Oh boy, all that has to go away because it's all wrong. And that is why I'm so excited for you. Finally, a personal message. It's important to value your safety, your information, and your guidance. And along the way, YouTube channels always have problems dealing with bad influencers in the comment section, not the live chat, but the comment section of the video. You've heard it all along. You heard about the people trying to WhatsApp you to have you send them money to a foreign country, trying to tell you to buy some strange truck or some Bitcoin scheme in some third world country. You've seen that. You've seen people trying to impersonate people. Well, we all try to deal with all this and try to figure out how to keep it away. And the best way I have now found to do it is what I launched a few days ago. Keeping the comments now on approval only mode, which means that if you're a Purple Hawk, your comments will likely get approved. If you're a member, if you're a subscriber but not a Purple Hawk, they might get approved. It takes a lot of time for me, so I can't approve all the comments. If you're not a subscriber and you're not a Purple Hawk, your comments are not going to get posted. Because this is what had happened, was that there were people who were not members, not subscribers, not Purple Hawks, trying to come in there and either, run some foreign thing in some foreign country, or they're trying to sell you wrong information. And I value that you get right information. For example, they jump in the live chat and say, you're 65 years old, there's no money for 65-year-olds. Or it's all roads and bridges, there's no money in there except roads and bridges. And those influences that were neither members nor subscribers, their purpose was to really hurt you. And I don't want them anywhere near you. So that is why you're going to see less comments in the chat. Not under the video. Not because there aren't comments. There's 10,000 comments a video, $5,000 of comments a video in the hold folder. And the ones that are members are getting posted, and the ones that are subscribers, some of them will post. I value your safety. I value that you get correct information. I value that you're not influenced by people who are just sort of swarming around trying to pry on people. And with that, join me next on Mornings Crypto, which heats up in just a few minutes, live on air. A lot of strange developments as Doge is going to the roof. And then join me all this next week as new shows are joining to this channel. New shows are coming on to this channel to make you financially more independent. A lot of fun, a lot of information. I know you love information. That's what I'm bringing to you with a whole new flock of programming and new graphics and new imagery as well. And so with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Join me also at 11 a.m. for Noontime LA. Like this video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. The link's under the video and underneath the chat. Join right now. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a beautiful Sunday morning. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, the coffee is brewing. But that darn bacon. I don't know where that darn bacon went. Have a beautiful morning across the board. Always stay informed, always stay focused, always stay motivated, and always stay here and stay with LA for more.